Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here today. I very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging with us today. Lots of chat going on right now. We have David Carlisle and Neil Hahn trying to fight for that number one position. Mike's trying to figure out why in the heck you would do that. But so goes the pre-chat chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Today, we have something kind of interesting for you. This stemmed from a question that was asked. And the question was something that happened in Tiger Stacker and Mai's kind of group thing that we pulled together. And that was the question of stacking versus collecting numismatics, right? And so what I want to do is I want to take a few minutes and get back to basics. You'll see on the thumbnail, there was an ancient coin. You'll see there that there was some gold. You'll see a key, a bronze key, and there were some other items, and they were sitting back to back. And a lot of people think that numismatics, there's a separate idea behind coin collecting and then stacking. And I want to talk a little bit about that. But before we do that, I want to jump in and say hi to some people that are coming in. Siren, good morning. How are you, my friend? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. It's always nice to see you come in. Mickey Fur, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. How you doing, buddy? Oh, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. David Carlisle is here. Thank you guys so much for being on. James Valley, Jack Riley, what's up, Jack? Ashes, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. AZ Coins is in the house. Rockzilla, let's see. Neil Hahn, Mike Nodelman, what's going on, brother? Tomorrow they have their Coin Show podcast, the ancient one with Aaron Burke. So we're going to have to make sure we remember to talk about that. Azure Blue is in the house. Good day, Azure. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. If I have missed you, I do apologize. What's going on, Eric? Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well, doing well. And yourself?
Doing well. Hey, Kevin, good morning, brother. Just trying to stay cool. God, it's been hot.
It's brutally hot in Florida. But we're getting a lot of rain, so we're getting some relief by the end of the day usually. But that's supposed to end for about 4 days now, too. That's going your way. Just what you need.
Well, fortunately, we've had a little bit of a kind of a breakdown in some of the rain. We got slammed in Central Texas. We need some breaks so we can get some recovery work done. It's been really bad. Roxilla says that it's cold and misty there. Where are you at? I don't remember where she's at. She's in or he's, hold on. Wait, let's see. Roxilla or Roseanne. I always get those two mixed up. Roxilla is in somewhere north, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope.
California. Yeah, Northern California. Yeah. Trying to remember what's going on. All right. Hey, you guys, I see a couple subscribers already. Thank you so much. 21 away from 6,000 subscribers. You guys, please, if you're coming into this, make sure you're smashing that subscribe button. I would appreciate, I'd love to get to 6K today. That'd be amazing. Mike Nodelman says, hopefully it cools off here. Yeah, I've seen the temperature index in Chicago. It's been pretty high. And the bad thing is, it's just like with here in Florida. God, you get that humidity index and it's miserable.
Yep.
And I'm a dude, Frosty. Yeah, that's what I said. I always get Roxilla and Roseanne. That's what I said. I was like, man, I always get which one's which. And I was like, oh yeah, Roseanne's the one that lives in, yeah. So I remembered. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, so you guys, I thank you for also all the support. Like I said, 21 subscribers to 6K. You guys are studs. Appreciate all you are doing. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead. I've got to set one thing up. 6K today, I can do it. Yeah, I think so, Metal Matt. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Roseanne is not here, man. You're right, David. Roseanne is not here. She's the trivia queen on Ida's channel, by the way.
I haven't seen her even on Ida's channel in a while.
I haven't. Well, with my job and the shift during the mornings, all the meetings and stuff that I deal with, I haven't actually got to be in there a lot.
Yeah, I haven't either. The last probably month, I've maybe 2 days. I've been over there.
Yeah, it's been kind of tough to get in there and do that kind of stuff, but you know, we try to do what we can. Um, yeah, my problem is that I have so many meetings in the morning that I just don't get the opportunity to go over there as much as I used to. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dig into the topic. So the topic today obviously comes from a question that was asked, as stated before. Hey, Bob Smith, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for coming back in. Appreciate you being here. Hope you had a nice little trip from last week. Or did you go on a trip, or is it just? I thought you were. Are you the one on a trip? I can't remember. I'll have to check. I get my mind's all kind of wonky today. Woodsy, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Say again.
It says Farm Dogs in Red Lodge, Montana.
What are you doing up in Montana?
Probably causing trouble.
No, in Farm Dog, that's probably not too far from the truth. So I have a question for chat. Eric, obviously you know this. Mike, don't answer. What is numismatics? Okay, so this is going to be like, oh my God, Frosty, what the hell are you talking about? We know this, but what is numismatics? Okay, and there's a reason that I asked this. Tiger Stacker and I were talking about in our Stack Collector the purpose for stacking, right? Silver is going up. We're almost at $40 an ounce. Crazy prices. We talked a little bit about what potentially is causing this to go on. Jack Riley, the study of coins and currency. Mike Nodelman, the bane of our existence. I like that. That's actually funny. Jack Riley, I would like you to do me a favor and elaborate. See, because when we talk about the study of coins and currency, actually, that's only a portion of it. And so the question that was asked of me was, well, Frosty, why does it matter whether you stack or whether you collect? And the first instinct was to say, well, it doesn't really matter, right? And Eric, you and I talked about this. That was your first statement as well, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But it actually does. And it does because people need to remember the basics. I always refer to, you know, when I just forgot his name. Why the heck did I forget his name? Packers coach.
Vince Lombardi.
Thank you. I can't believe I just went.
It happens.
So one of the things Vince Lombardi used to do at the start of every season is walk out with a football and say, "This is a football. This is how you hold it. This is what it's made of. These are, you know, these things. This is what it helps do. This is why it happens." Yeah, Azure, that just came across. I saw that, bud. Thank you so much. I'll make sure that I'll reach out to you later on because I think that would be cool as hell. So fun stuff. But when you look at these things, I had to kind of step back and go, it's not that it doesn't matter, because it actually does. And why does it matter? Well, because when you look at the study of, hey, it doesn't matter, man. Packers or not, doesn't matter if you're a fan. You can't argue Vince Lombardi wasn't one of the greatest coaches that ever existed. Sorry. Yeah, Mike says you can play pickleball or you can play tennis. You just can't play each other. You have to be in the proper place. I don't know if I read that right, but yeah. And again, when you look at this, what's important is to understand what numismatics is. So what is that? A lot of people say, well, numismatics, you know, it's coin collecting. Well, it's actually not true. Numismatics actually engages a whole lot more. So the short answer is what Jack said. right? It's the study of coins, paper currency. But it actually encompasses way more than that, because not only do you have numismatics, you also have the sub levels of numismatics, which are your semi-numismatics or your numismania. Um, so that stuff is metals, tokens, right? Silver and gold actually is a subset, a semi-numismatic. So stacking is actually under the umbrella. Exonumia, thank you. That's what I was looking for. You knew what I was talking about. And this is really important. Why is that? Well, because you hear sometimes stackers will say, I don't need to know numismatics. I just stack. But I would like to ask a question for those people out there that are stackers right now. Okay. Can you tell me the difference between 90% and 40% silver? Can you tell me the years that 40% happened? Can you tell me the year that they stopped making the copper penny? Can you tell me the year that they started from 0.9167 to 0.6784 gold? Why did they decrease the gold in the 1854 timeframe? Why did they do that? Actually, 1836 timeframe. If you can tell me those things, then you are actually understanding numismatics. You're actually studying the collection of money, right? Because remember that ultimately silver and gold were money, right? And so you're looking at doing that. Now you do have the purists, and if you are a purist, you don't care about anything but weight. You don't care if it's collectible or not. Your whole thing is to say that I want to know about spot price. I just want to know that I'm getting a good solid deal, right? And Check Stacker says, yes, as a stacker, I do know those dates, except the last fact about gold. Well, and again, so yeah, anything used to settle debts. And that's really important, Eric. And you can just speak, cut me off anytime you want to.
No, I did. You were on a roll.
Yeah. So, but what's important is when I got this question, at first I thought it was a really easy answer. And I wanted to answer, and then I kind of was like, no, actually, it's not. Because even those of you who are stackers are still engaged in numismatics. And that's just a fact. By default of the fact that silver and gold are also money. So the study of money, coins, currency, metals, tokens, precious metals, semi-numismatics, you get high-end collectible silver and gold, right? It's still, again, it's just that semi-numismatic. You look at the bullion coins, the eagle, the maple leaf, the Krugerrand. Those are coins for other nations, but you get the bullion pieces that are just pure bullion. And again, it still falls under a semi-numismatic. It's still under the numismatic realm. So why is it important for us to do this? Well, it's important because, as I stated before, and Eric, you and I talked about this, what's your end goal? What is your end goal? What is the purpose for you doing what you do?
Many of you may not even realize there is an end goal until you really think about it.
And that's fact.
This morning. That was me this morning. I was like, I just buy junk and keep buying and buying and buying. But ultimately, I had a reason why I did what I did. I never even thought about it, though.
So when we look at this, and again, a lot of people have goals and aspirations, and they enjoy things. What is collecting? Well, collecting is, hoarding things that you like. But even if you don't have a quote unquote plan, you know what you collect, you know what you like. Okay. And if you look at those people who you consider to be successful collectors, they have complete sets because they have goals. They know what they're looking for. They know what's out there. There are people, if you guys are stackers and you like, you know what's really popular right now? A lot of people like kookaburras. If you like kookaburras, put a 1 in chat. There are a lot of people out there that like to collect kookaburras or let's see, what's the other one? Geiger. A lot of people like Geiger bars. If you collect Geiger bars, right, then, put a 1 in chat, or actually put a 2 in chat. 1 for kookaburras and 2 for Geiger bars. Okay, now why am I saying this? Well, because when you look at Geiger have serial numbers, and the serial numbers tell you a lot about the runs of that particular bar. They tell you whether or not your bar is something that was done for a very short time frame. There may only be 100 or 200 of them, but they all look the same to some people. But if you're a collector and you really want to go through this, Engelhard, yeah, that's another great one. Engelhard bars are one of those that if you find the right number, oh man, you could get a lot of money for some of these.
Yeah, I think the old 10-ounce bars really bring a premium now, don't they?
Yeah, especially with certain numbers. Yeah. And there are sites dedicated to those particular things. That was a great example. Engelhard is a really good example of this. And there are sites where you can actually go and find out what numbers of those bars are important. You can look and see if the bar itself is, does it have the giant E on the back? Does it have the kind of cross-hatching pattern? Is it a poured? See, vote for Pedro talking about a poured. Is it one of their old poured style bars that people go goo goo gaga over? Is it something like a blood bar? And if you guys don't know what a blood bar is, go check out my video on blood bars. That's a fun story about a poured bar and manipulation and death and tax evasion and the manipulation of what's the OSHA, Occupational Safety Health Administration, right? Blood bars, man, those things are crazy. And so when you look at that, that's not just stacking. Okay, that is numismatics. That is the study, the history, the lineage, all of that comes together. So why am I saying this? Why does it matter? If you guys are like, man, I'm a stacker, I don't want to hear this crap. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just whatever. But why does it matter? Well, it matters because if you know you're a member of a subset, you can actually connect with other people and build your network. You can build your community. So I'm going to go through some basics with you. And as I go through this, Eric, as you think of something, please feel free to interject and interrupt at any time. No worries. So let's go basic kind of numismatics 101. Okay, first off, gold, silver, numismatics itself, they're all intrinsically linked. Why is that? Well, because precious metals were the primary fundamental basis for coins, trade. But Eric, you and I talked about some things early on. What are some of the things that you and I chatted about this morning?
Salt, cocoa beans, shells. You can have hides, basically anything, even credit cards, expired credit cards. And I didn't know, but that actually, like credit cards from the 50s and 60s, is actually very collectible. And that is part of numismatics.
And this goes back to understanding what numismatics is, right? And so really kind of getting into the crux of it. There's a couple common misconceptions. Number one, UCI, what's up? I just saw you pop in here. How are you, my friend? I hope you are doing well. First off, numismatics is the study of coins. That's a misnomer. Numismatics is the study of money or things that have been utilized as money, either in and or trade or to pay off debts, as he stated, Eric stated just a little while ago.
But like bartering stuff, like you said, salt went from currency to basically barter. So it wouldn't have been considered numismatics during bartering times.
No, but again, the numismatics, it changes. So now, obviously, salt is more of a commodity. Well, hold on. Silver and gold is a commodity too. Okay, so it depends on what realm you're looking at and the time frame. Again, history plays a huge part in this. I mentioned in our discussion this morning, wampum. Okay,
That's
these
right.
little beads, right? And these little beads. Why so many? Yeah. Um, there were, that's 2,500 plates. Huh? Oh, you're talking to Robert Bruce. I was like, what in the world did I miss something? You're talking, yeah. Um, you want to talk about license plates? Talk about Chuck and his
Chuck's a
collection of
license
mini
plate
plates.
freak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but when we look at these things, a lot of people, you'll hear this, and this is kind of one of those things that the numismatic community does to make it easy for people. And if you're brand new and you've ever heard numismatics is the study of coins, that's not actually right. Oh well, I can't say that word, so I'm just going to say coin collecting, and it does a disservice to people who are actually in the hobby. Oh, by the way, you're a stacker, you're a part of the numismatic community. FYI. Okay. Now, um, what do we look at when we think about numismatics? Well, people obviously go to rarity, condition, grade, historical significance, the demand for a certain coin, the appeal, the aesthetics, kind of tying to condition to grade. But you look at aesthetic appeal, you get kind of into that ancient coin realm when you're looking more at the aesthetic of appeal, the design elements of that appeal. How does the coin look? What was the designability of that particular coin? Right? That's more kind of ancient based. And then obviously we look at one of the things that, we look at all the time, and that is where's the mint mark? Where's that mint mark from? Because if you have a D mint mark from the 1820s, it's totally different than if you have a D mint mark from the 1930s, right? That D mint mark from Delenega on a gold coin is going to be way more collectible than the Denver mint mark from 38, right? So there are a lot of things to understand about that. Now, however, when we get into the precious metal piece, people are like, well, it's just commodity. It's just durability. It's another way of offsetting that. But remember that bullion is a subcategory of semi-numismatics. There's also the intrinsic value of the collectible coins. We talk about pre-33 gold. We talk about key dates. You talk about copper coins. Again, when you're looking at copper coins as in Chuck and Eric, copper coins as in like copper cents. Large cents, small cents, half cents, whatever. You look at copper content. People are not collecting those old ones just for, now there are some people that collect it for the copper content, but they're not collecting those old coins just for the copper content. They're collecting the newer coins for the copper content, right? That is the 1909 to the 1958, or hold on, no, 1982, sorry. And so a lot of people get into this idea of, well, I'm only going to keep the copper. Well, that's great. But if you don't know numismatics, you don't understand that little copper pile could cost you a bunch of money, because if you happen to have a 22 no D in there, or you happen to have a 31S in there, or you happen to have a 14D in there, stacking just by the metal itself leads to a potential loss of money.
And look at the $50 hunters. I mean, I got no problem with people hunting $50, but I always say there is so much stuff worth more than the price of silver in that box to look for, and they don't look. There's even with pennies, they're pulling wheat pennies out of a box. There's all sorts of stuff in that box to look for that could be worth 20 bucks or even more. $5, lots of stuff are worth $5.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of work engaged when you're trying to sell those things, especially if you're doing it like online.
I'm just saying that you see these people searching them. They're pulling out a 4 or 5 cent wheat penny, and they could run right by a 60D RPM number one, which is $10 in its circulated condition.
Well, and see, so it's really important that you say that, because one of the things that we talk about Paula. Paula is an error person. She likes her errors. When we look at Eric is a variety person. He likes his varieties, right? Now, when Eric and I were talking earlier, he's like, I don't I don't necessarily have a goal. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well,
Oh, you
actually,
said I didn't have a strategy.
I didn't have, yeah, well, a strategy. Yeah.
But it
And
turns out I have a goal, so I technically have a strategy because I do have a goal.
and this happens all the time when he's doing reveals and we end up finding multiples of something. He's like, hey, I would like to reach out to you and work a trade because I need this one for my collection.
Yeah,
I
I
need this one
always
for my
check
set.
if I need stuff. Um, and my goal is to get all the RPMs in the Lincoln Cents for all 3 listings, and I'm at 1,800, and I'm not even close.
Well, and so Mike is like, I'm not an error or variety guy. A lot of people aren't, but they think about numismatics and the only channels that they've seen are error and variety shows. That's what they think numismatics is.
But you
If
say that, Mike, but I bet you look at every 55p for a double die.
well, but it's
Matter of fact, I know he wants a 55p double die.
but he's more of a scarcity person
Right,
than he
right.
is. You're right. And so when you look at those types of things, again, now I say this, him and I have talked quite a bit. He's actually been on the panel a couple times. When you look at Mike, he's like, I'm not a collector in the common collector sense. I have things that I collect, but because of what he does. Now, if you guys are brand new, first off, subscribe to the channel. There's only 20 more for 6,000. You guys can help me get there today. I would really appreciate that, by the way. He works for Harlan J. Burke. Now, if you don't know who that is, then go search them out. They are coin shop, the oldest coin shop in the US. They are in Chicago and fabulous, fabulous shop. The stuff that he gets to see day in and day out, many of us could only dream about. Okay. And when that stuff happens, it comes across your desk all the time. He's like, nothing I could afford would compare against some of the stuff I get to see. Freaking awesome. What's up, brother? Hey, I sent you a text message. I didn't know if you got it or not. It took a while for it to go through. We were supposed to have lunch yesterday and I got called into work. Supposed to be there for about 15 minutes and about 7 hours later, I got to leave. So I apologize. We'll try to connect for that. Harlan, no, it's Harlan J. Burke. Yeah, and Mike can put the link in there, but definitely go check them out. If you have any questions, man, they're a phenomenal group of people to be dealing with. So make sure you're going to go check out Harlan J. Burke. If you're looking at copper cents and stuff like that, we got our own Eric and Chuck Daughtry, right? They're always available for questions and answers. Oh, by the way, folks, Paula, for those of you who aren't aware of what's going on with Paula's not going to be here for a few weeks. She's obviously been dealing with her eyes, but her daughter suffered an injury in a boating accident, near fatal. Busted her pelvic bone. On my community page is some information on that. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm not calling for anybody to donate. If you want to donate and help out, then by all means do so. I'm not calling for it. What I want you guys to do is I want you to go to that community post and let people, or let Paula know, not people, though, let Paula know and the family, because they're monitoring that as well. If you're on Facebook, you can do it on Facebook, but reach out to them and let her know that you're thinking about her. It has been, God, Eric, we talked about this morning too. We had a lot of conversation this morning. It has been a very rough year for loss, for health issues, for
just bad luck,
just in general, right? And so please get over and let Paula know that you're thinking of her. Let her know that you love her, that you miss her. Tell her a dirty limerick, tell her a fun dad joke or something. Just go there and let her know that you guys are thinking about her. For those of you who have her digits, send her a text message. Okay. Let her know that you guys are thinking about her. She's a huge part of this community. She's a huge part of my channel. And I want people to be reaching out and saying, hey, you know what? We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. And again, if you're led to do something donation wise, then that's totally up to you. I'm not calling for it. because everybody and their brother wants to call somebody out and do stuff like that. I know um, some people feel strapped to do that. I don't want anybody to feel that they're less for anything because they can't donate. I don't want you to be in that position. Show somebody grace and kindness, and that carries so much weight. Okay, so that's what I would ask of you guys to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to this. I appreciate you guys. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. I'll fill you in a little bit more what's going on. Oh, so Eric, where do numismatics kind of intersect? Where do they diverge? What would your thoughts be on that?
Where do they diverge from? What are you talking about? What are they, or when do they stop being numismatics?
When do you think they stop being numismatics?
Well, like gems. Gems are numismatics. And I never realized that. I actually had a viewer tell me that they were a gem collector before they were a coin collector, and that's how they got into numismatics. And I never realized that was part. But when you start making jewelry out of the gems, they're no longer numismatic. It becomes a commodity after that. That's what I was.
Oh man, do you want to talk about that? Kevin Rose. Yeah, that dude, he's very, very good gemologist. He really understands that stuff.
But that has to do with numismatics because there was a lot of stones that were actually used to settle debts. Or gems, stones too, shells. Those, what are they?
Is that the wampum?
No, there's cowrie shells, and then there's another one, nautilus shells or something like that. They use those as money in a lot of the like Polynesia and stuff like that.
Oh, you're talking about cowries.
Cowrie shell, and then there's nautilus shells. Nautilus shell is like the shell or scallop shell, like Shell gas station. I think that's a scallop shell actually.
So I know a lot of people collect conchs too.
Conch, yeah.
Conch shells they trade.
Settled debts. That would be like a $100,000 bill in the shell business. Oh, some of those conchs are like footballs.
Yeah, some of those conch shells are extremely expensive, and you can't just go take them because normally they're in protected water.
So they're illegal now. They farm them. The ones that they sell now are usually farmed.
Yeah. The cowrie shells were a huge one for money, along with tusk shells. I don't remember the name of it. It was like the Pacific Northwest up there in Oregon and stuff like that. There was something called Dedaladium or Detalium or...
Well, even the scrimshaw, I think scrimshaw, which was tusks that were carved.
Oh, yeah.
I think that can be used to settle that. Those were used to settle debts.
Scrimshaw was cool. They do a lot with ivory, and now they use whalebone because they can't use the ivory anymore. Right. But they use whalebone and stuff like that.
They're now a commodity.
They're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're no longer used to settle debt. But I mean, you think of a lot of things. There are a lot of items that used to be used as currency, but now are not. Now are like traded. Trading doesn't count.
Yeah, well, again, those things, and if you're talking about numismatic history, then those things would be included in that exonumia, right? And so there are those elements that still fall under the branch of numismatics, but they're not something that you would consider a numismatic item now. That's where it falls under that exonumia. The smashed pennies, right? That's another one of those things that a lot of people collect that has an intrinsic value. It was a penny. It's not anymore. Now it's just a copper plate. But they still fall under exonumia. So the point in that, what I get to through all of this, was that the question that was asked was, why does it matter? It took me a while to kind of dig into, well, there's a couple things we have to understand regarding the relationship. Because it's not so easy to say, well, you're a stacker and I'm a collector. Because we all kind of... transportation tokens, right? Or love tokens, yeah.
Yeah, all
Um,
tokens.
those things, we all have different knowledge bases. So why does it matter? And so I sent the person a message, reached out, got on their page, sent them an email, and basically this was my response to them. Okay, we look at coins as kind of a bridge between the world of precious metals and numismatics, but in that we have things like bullion coins, we have historical coins. There are high end and low end numismatic elements, gold, silver, and not all gold and not all silver are the same. If I was to look at a 1794 flowing hair dollar or a Goldbreck dollar, that doesn't carry the same numismatic or silver content value as a 1883 O Morgan dollar. They're both an ounce of silver, but the numismatic pretense of the 1794 or the Goldbreck makes that coin a $20,000 coin, especially if we're looking at MS 62, 63, 65, stuff like that, right? You get really into the high ends, you're talking about massive money. One of the questions that was asked of that is, well, what does silver spot price do to those historic coins? It doesn't do anything to those really high numismatic value coins because the money isn't tied to the precious metal. It's tied to the numismatic item. And so for those of you that are stacking pure weight, you could be missing out on tons and tons and tons, literally, of money by not being aware of what that is. So why does it matter? It matters because of something that I preach all the time. And you guys might get tired of this, and that is community. I know stackers, and I asked this question earlier. I know stackers that can tell me when gold went from 0.9167 to 0.6783. There are people that can tell me, well, depending upon the war in silver of junk silver, you can't rate it at 0.9167. You have to rate it at 0.9083 or whatever the hell the number is. And they're stackers. They know this. And so it's extremely important that I have those people in my community, because if I want to stack based off of that premise, I need to have those people to go to. So why does it matter? Because in the field of numismatics, I want to have my bases covered. If I want to know something about, and you talked about gemstones, Eric, I'm going to reach out to one of the members of our community. Why is that? Well, because I know Kevin knows his precious stones. He's actually designing me a pair for my daughter's sister. He's done some really cool things. I got some moonstone earrings for my daughter from him. Not only does he make earrings from these things, or make necklaces from these things, or do stuff like this, he can tell you a lot about this stone. He can also tell you a lot about the historical significance in relation to local tribes in that particular area, right? There's a lot of connotation and historical precedence that is set from some of these stones and what makes them important. Why does that matter? Well, because as somebody who likes history and somebody who likes to grow, I need to have that person in my corner. So why does it matter? Well, because if you understand who in the hobby understands what, you can build a solid network and really learn the value of things that you may just not know, right? And so having people like, I talk about Eric and Paul all the time. They're always on my chat. They're always up here providing great, solid information about varieties and errors and what to look for. Jack Riley, Jack Young, always in the chat talking about counterfeits and how to protect yourselves and what to do, right? Making sure you understand those elements, making sure you understand if you're going to go to a website. Hey, you know what? I saw this coin. Matter of fact, Jack, are you still here? Okay. You guys want to know that I practice what I preach? Jack, what did I send you a picture of late last night? I actually did a short on this. I sent a coin. It's actually, if you see my, yep, Jack Riley's still here. I sent you a picture of a coin. What was it? I'm from India. Have a lot of rare American coins. Um, Very cool, Sunil. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Greetings to India. The 83cc. Yes. Now, why does it matter that it was an 83cc? Well, common counterfeit coin, right? I got it from a trusted source, but you're supposed to do your due diligence, right? And so it doesn't matter that I got it from a trusted source. I want to test it. So what did I do? Well, I looked, and it happens to be this coin right here if you want to really know. Oh, damn it. Don't drop it on the floor. All right, so this is going at a discounted rate. I'm just kidding. Oh, I've got this coin here. So what am I going to do to make sure that this coin hasn't been manipulated? How do I know that this particular item hasn't been done? I'm going to look at the sides, right? I'm going to make sure that that hasn't been cracked open. I'm going to make sure there's no super glue there. I'm going to make sure I can't pull the damn thing apart. If I can pull one of these apart, it's not real, folks. Right? If I can pull one of these apart, it's not real. Okay? I should never be able to open an authentic slab. If you can, you got a problem. Okay? It's not authentic. Or it's been manipulated.
Anybody who's cracked out anything knows how hard they are to get into.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you should never just be able to open one of these, right? And so why is that? Why does that matter? Why is that important? Well, because as you look at this, and I see I'm lagging a little bit. When you look at this, if you can tell that this has been cracked or it's damaged or whatnot, then you might want to say, hey, I need to look at this a little bit more carefully. Okay. Now, the other thing is the coin itself. Okay. Now, it's an authentic slab, but is the coin one of those that has slipped through the cracks? So who am I going to reach out to? Well, I sent a picture of this to Jack Riley and said, hey, what do you think about this? He's like, ooh, nice, good looking coin, right? I think it's a 5B. He even told me what VAM it was, right? So why does that matter? Well, now that I have this coin, I know that it's authentic. I've, one, confirmed that Bob, we'll talk. I'll give you some stuff to talk about that here in just a minute. I've been able to confirm the coin. So what does this do for me? Well, I can reach out to the person I got this coin was Oregon Stacker. I can reach out to Oregon and say, hey, brother, wanted you to know that I appreciate getting that coin. Looked at it, looks good. Went through, found out that it's a VAM 5B. Not that that matters to you, but really nice, authentic coin. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I know you got this from your coin shop. Let them know that I appreciate their due diligence and looking at this. And, thank you very much. What does that do? Well, one, it helps build the relationship between me and Oregon because I consider him a trusted source. He has a really good coin shop that he goes through. And when he goes to find something for me, and he goes back and he tells his coin shop that his numismatic buddy went through and did a video on this and talked about it and opened it apart and found out that it's authentic and said, hey, thanks for you guys doing the due diligence. What does that do for the relationship between him and the person that he's working with? It strengthens that, right? And it builds that network. So even though I'm not tied to Oregon Stacker's coin shop, Oregon Stacker is tied to me. And if I give him good word about his coin shop because I verified that a $350 coin is authentic, and they're going to come back and say, yes, well, we know that it's authentic, but hey, we appreciate him doing his due diligence. That's going to strengthen that relationship there. Okay. I don't buy coins, Sunil. I apologize. Not through this channel. You can reach out to me, ! Email and tell me what coin it is. I can give you some ideas, but I don't actually purchase coins. Sorry, bud. I don't buy or sell. I'm an education channel. I don't have a coin shop. Integrity, absolutely, right? You guys know that being military, my core values embody military, and so that's a very important thing. But again, why do you do that? Why is that important? Well, the more people you have in your network, the more protection you have against getting things like counterfeits, or being able to find those rarities. I wish Dirty Water was in here. Dirty Water Coins, if you haven't seen his channel, he's always finding really cool varieties and errors.
And that goes back to what I was saying. These people get penny boxes and just pull wheat pennies out. He searches every coin and he finds all sorts of stuff. Some stuff is, I mean, hundreds of dollars.
Oh, yeah, he's found some extremely impressive items. Now, does everybody have to do that? No, absolutely not. That's not the pretense for everybody. Not everybody wants to collect varieties and errors. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about key dates. We're going to be talking about looking at things. Jack Riley, Jack Young, I know Jack's probably going to be on panel. And I've asked him to present some really nice quality counterfeits in key date coins. Ones that are high dollar value that he has within his personal collection. And we're going to be talking about some of those things. Mike Nodelman says he's in. Outstanding. We're going to be talking about some of these things. Why? Well, because those are the things you need to be protected on, right? Now, everybody wants to find a key date. So there isn't anybody who is watching this that shouldn't already be subscribed, hit that notification bell, but go look at the thing tomorrow and go click on that video and set your reminder to be here. Because there isn't anybody who's in here that shouldn't want to know what key dates are out there or what to look for, right? And so if I'm going to do one, and Kevin, this would be a lot of fun if you want to go just pure collecting. It'd be fun to have Kevin up and say, you guys like gemstones? Let's talk gemstones, right? A lot of people are talking about cracking out coins, I guess.
No, I made the comment that they're not easy to crack out. If they're in a real slab, it's work. And you got to be careful because you can damage the coin real easy.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. No worries, kid of mine. Good to see you in the stream. I appreciate you guys being here so much. But yeah, you should not be able to. And I actually think I have a slab here somewhere that I can open. I might have to step away and grab one of those just in case, because I don't think I have. I always have a counterfeit slab to teach people that you shouldn't be able to open a slab, and I can show you what that looks like. There's a lot of holders that are out there that you can buy on like Temu and stuff like that. You can print your own labels. So people make those things all the time, and you need to know what you're looking for to protect yourself. That's, again, it goes back into why is the numismatic thing important? Well, if you need to know those kind of things. What is it about, and we'll go to the stackers. We'll go back to what Mike mentioned when he said Engleharts, and I don't know why I didn't include Engleharts because they're very, very, very collectible.
Well, look at, what is it, 84, 85 half-ounce prospector? They're probably worth $50 by now, and it's like $12 worth of silver.
Yeah.
And that's an Englehart round. That was like one of the earlier ones. They had the Prospector series. And some of them are very common, and yet others are not.
So I'm going to show you a site. And this is something that if you guys haven't ever seen this, again, I'm not affiliated with Englehart in any shape or stretch of the imagination. But I'm going to share this with you. This is, and let me zoom in a little bit so that we can get a really nice view on this. There we go. All right, this is allenglehard.com. And I'm going to put that in chat. That should show up there. Let me check one other thing and see if it shows up. Okay, I've got that in both sides. So you should see that allenglehard.com. And this is here. So if you want to look at a very specific one, you can pull out, if you're looking at 5 gram, 5 ounce, half ounce, 45 grams, 25 ounce, whatever it is. So let's go pull up a 10 ounce bar. Obviously, we're going to be looking at a 5-digit serial, and then we're going to search for that. All right, and then what this is going to do is this is going to pull up any of the Engelhard bars that meet that criteria. And why does that matter? Well, because some of these are highly, highly collectible. For instance, and I happen to know this one because it's a very rare one. There's only a few of these, not a lot of them. They're very uncommon. But this FPM Star, I actually happen to have this particular one. They sell for a fairly decent amount of money. But they were only done at a very specific area, and there's not a lot of these. And so you collect these types of things, and again, it shows you 10 ounce, you see the Engelhard, and this will tell you where you can go, where you can find it, what exactly you're looking for. And then you can search, let's go find another one, because he was talking about poured bars. Let's do some of their not so poured bars. Uncommon. I don't like this. She looks like she drank too much. Got big old puffy eyeballs. But they tell you about the dealer. They tell you about where these all came from. And again, go to the 3 ounce. Okay. Yeah, see, and this is somebody who understands this. Again, we'll clear this out. And we'll just do series. Okay. And here we go into the 3 ounce bars. Yeah, so any specific one that you want me to look at? Because again, these are, why is this important? Well, if you're a stacker and you have a bunch of Engelhard bars, you may need to go pull out your collection and find out if you have any of these. Because you might get to have a number of these. Let's just pull out this one, okay? Extrude private, you can find them. Doesn't say they're overly rare, no counter stamp. But again, you'll find different pieces. Let's go to, there's another one here. Let me find this one. 1 kilo bar. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of these different ones. Uncommon, they're in private collections. Again, so why is this important? Well, if you have some of these, you'd be extremely surprised to find out that some of these are worth thousands of dollars. Now, obviously, you're looking at a kilo, so this is already, you know, a bunch of money. But let's say that the premium on this is $1,500. Well, instead of just having a kilo of silver, now you might be able to trade this in for something and end up with 2 or 3 kilos, right? I go back to the discussion, and I like this story for 2 reasons. Number one, it talks about somebody who realized the value of what they had when they didn't know what they had before. But I didn't take advantage of the person who didn't know, and that was the guy who had 3 tubes of 1996 American Silver Eagles. 3 tubes. 1996 is a key date, and 2 of them were unopened. They were just in their tubes. And so, how much does an MS-70, MS-69, 1996 American Silver Eagle go for these days? 80, 90, $100?
Yeah, 100. There's some 100, 135. Depends. So
when you look at the price of silver, so even if you take today's spot price, $40, we'll just round it up because 40 is, it's going to get here. Yeah, so Bob, it is a lower mintage. So Bob says 96 is a low mintage. Why the key date? 94, 95, 96 are all collectible, but most people are looking for the 1996. It does have a very low mintage. But so we have 20 of these in this tube. I believe there's 20 in a tube. And if he were to sell that just for the silver price, he'll get $360 for it. $400 for it, $500 for it, whatever. However, if he sells those coins individually and turns around and goes back, now he's looking at close to $2,000 for that tube. So knowing what you have makes a difference. So when the person asks me, why does it matter? Well, it matters a great deal. Now, do you have to know everything about every coin that comes through? No. But I'll tell you that it is important that you have people who know these things, because the person who did that, they were a hardcore stacker. They knew what we were looking at, but they had no idea that this was a key date. They definitely had no idea that each one of those coins was worth $100. Now, Tiger Stacker and I did one with peace dollars, and I don't need to present this anymore. Tiger Stacker and I did one with peace dollars, and we went through tube after tube after tube after tube of peace dollars. And I was filling my peace dollar book, and I was like, this is what we're going to do. I will trade you equal amount silver for the numismatic value of that particular coin. We'll pull them up together. We'll find common prices. We'll agree on what's fair, and then we'll do it. And we traded 7 coins. He got 14 or 15 pieces for my 7, because there were 2 of them that, now some of them were just a little bit nicer. So it was a 1-to-1 trade. They were the same year. Really nice 1922. I'm sorry, it's not much nicer. I'm not giving you 40 coins for it, right? Because the one I have is, that was a 63, maybe getting a 64. So maybe it was a 1-for-1 trade. Maybe it was a 1-for-2 trade. But there were some, like we found a 1928S. That was in pretty decent shape. That was like a 6-coin trade. And that one coin doubled his stack for that particular tube, right? So there's inherent value in understanding the numismatic side of things as a stacker. Likewise, there's a lot of great information that comes from the stackers that a lot of people who coin collect just should pay more attention to. Junk silver, knowing what's 90%, knowing what's 40%. People take for granted that we know the answers to those, but there's a lot of people who just don't know. I'm going to give away, we talked about this before. I'm going to give a sticker pack away. We'll do a giveaway really fast. Okay, it's my chip, a sticker, and then my Stack Collector one. And we'll do that. You need to enter into chat. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so, because it'll take about a minute for you to be able to enter into the chat. So we'll give it about a minute, and then I'll come back through and we'll ask this question regarding this, but it revolves around the Denver, or the D mint mark, excuse me, the D mint mark. Mike, didn't I send you one? I think I sent you one. If not, I need to send you one. I thought I already sent you one. What's up, Flying Dutchman? What's up, Frank? How you doing? Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you are putting stuff in chat. Let people know that you're here. But it also, make sure you're smashing that like. So, how many mints are there? Do you guys know? Does it matter to you? Eric, do you know?
How many mints? Like
how many
US mints or mints total?
US mints. Nope, not currently in total.
I don't know, 10, 11?
Okay.
I'm just guessing.
A little bit less. Not across the globe, just US. Less than 10. Not by much, but less than 10. Oop. I didn't want the rest of my coffee anyway. Vote for Pedro, 9. Bob Smith, 8. Flying Dutchman, 7. Again, just be entering stuff into chat. Bob Smith says 8, maybe?
Yeah, it would be 8.
Maybe.
Unless I'm forgetting one.
Maybe. There is one that people tend to forget about. There's actually a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
debate about it.
never mind. Forgot. There was one I forgot.
People always forgot that it was a mint for a short time. 5 to 10, Chad said yes. What's up, Southeast Stacker? How you doing? Good to see you. So the question is, we'll give it another minute or so. I'm kind of telling you we're not choosing the answers. I'm going to tell you what the answer is. We're not choosing a person who gets it right. I'm just going to be pulling the names of people who guessed. So just get a guess in there. Doesn't have to be right. You'll see something on my channel, and that is that I don't necessarily go by right or wrong answers. It's more of opportunities to learn. And so take a guess, because being wrong is just an opportunity to learn something. That's all it is.
And now, do you count mints that were there's one mint in the same city, even though it's not the same mint? Is that two separate mints, or is that one mint?
You'll have to clarify what you mean by that.
Well, the San Francisco Mint's been in two separate buildings.
No, it's just the San Francisco Mint.
Okay.
It wasn't called anything else. Inkman, Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, Carson City, Dahlonega, Charlotte. You're missing a couple items. What's the question? How many mints are there, or were there?
Have there been
In U.S.? Kevin, Denver, San Francisco, West Point, Fort Knox, Charlotte, Dahlonega, New Orleans, Carson City.
Missing one. And got one wrong.
What do you mean got one wrong?
Fort Knox has never been a mint, has it?
Fort Knox is considered a mint.
It is a depository. It is not a mint.
We'll look it up. Fort Knox is one that people forget about. The other one I don't expect people to get. This is one that is quite frequently forgot about.
No, Fort Knox is not a mint. It's a bullion depository only. It is a mint facility, though. But they have never minted a coin there.
It's a bullion depository. So Jack Riley, the Manila Mint actually does count, and that's the one that people mostly don't know about.
Oh, good one. All right, yeah.
The Manila Mint is kind of the trivia piece.
There's the trick question. That was a good trick question there.
Yeah.
That was as good as flip-flops being the number one counterfeited item.
Yeah. Dulles, there's the other one. Yep, that's the other one. And that's the one that makes 9. So
that makes 10.
No, it makes, well, if we take out Fort Knox, that makes 9.
No, it makes 10.
What's 10?
It would be Dahlonega, Charlotte, Philadelphia, Denver, West Point, San Francisco, Carson City, New Orleans, Manila, and Dulles. That's 10.
Oh, there is 10. Yeah, so Frank McCain, during World War II, they minted some stuff for a period of time that it was considered. Yeah, so I only thought there were 9. Yeah, I thought there were 9. New York, San Francisco, Philadelphia. Yeah, because the Philippines Mint, the Manila Mint, was something. No, not all 10 are active. I think there's only 5 that are active, or 4 that are active.
4, yeah.
Yeah, West Point, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco.
And I think the Mint actually built a mint somewhere in the Northwest, but never opened it. There was an assay office and everything up there.
Washington or Chicago?
For some reason, I keep thinking like Idaho or someplace like that. I
don't remember. I thought there was one in Seattle. I want to say it was in Washington. There was a Manila Mint for a while though, Mike. I want to say it was open in, I think it was Seattle. If I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
Oh, Dulles. That's it. It's in Oregon.
The Dulles is the one that was okay.
It was built but never put into operation.
So, and that's the okay. So that's why it doesn't count. That's why it's only 9, because it was never actually put into operation. Okay, and it's an assay office anyway, right?
It was an assay office before it was a mint. Yes.
Okay. I knew there were 9. I couldn't remember. Mike's like correct. I couldn't remember. All right. Well, let's go ahead and no, Dulles wasn't. Yeah, Dulles wasn't one. I was mistaken. I knew Dulles, but it was an assay office. They never actually opened as that mint. But now Eric's got me thinking. I think there was an assay office in Boise, Idaho. Because now that you say that, I think there was.
Yeah, and they were talking because there was like a little silver and gold rush there, and they wanted to get it closer to the mint.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember. We went to, where the hell did we go? I think it's the National Forest Service. It's the national park. I think there's a building there, and it closed in the 20s, the 30s. I don't remember.
One in Colorado, Denver.
Trying to remember. I'll have to pull it up and look and see. But we were there because I have family that lives in Idaho.
And Salt Lake City, there was U.S. Mint assay offices. Charlotte, New Orleans, St. Louis, Helena, Salt Lake City, Deadwood, and Seattle.
There were a lot of different assay offices, though. It depends on when you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a. You're right. That is not a mint, though.
San Francisco and Denver were the only ones that ever transitioned into mints.
Sunil, yeah, you're seeing us live. We're live. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Thank you so much for being here. C Corp was in Boise. They made My Tribe's gold and silver rounds. Oh, very cool. Yeah, there were a ton of assay offices, especially during the gold rush time frames, or the silver rush. Well, gold rush primarily. There were a lot of them popped up because of the need for people to turn over their money. So I'm sure there were.
Yeah, it was hard for them to travel with lots of gold at that point. A lot of that was pre-railroad.
Which is, I mean, that's the whole reason for the San Francisco Mint, right? That's the whole reason that was put up there, because up until the San Francisco Mints being opened, the people would have to transport it all to Philadelphia. So, Mohawk Joe's just subscribed. Thank you so much, Mohawk Joe's. Appreciate you.
Making me think of stuff I haven't thought of in 25 years.
Yeah, but again, and this is all history, right? This is part of the, this is all just a part of the numismatic thing. But this is why it's important that you have a number of people in your hobby. So why, again, it goes back to the very fundamental question. We got a little bit off track. But the fundamental question is, why does it matter whether you're a stacker or a collector? And the answer, it doesn't matter. Is a misnomer. And it does because, well, number one, the more people you have that know different stuff, the better educated you're going to be about that particular item. And whether it's, having somebody like Kevin talking about, and you guys know I like to include tribal things in the coins that I do, even when I do my commemorative $50 series, or I do stuff on Louisiana Purchase or stuff like that, I always try to include the tribal communities, even though I don't have all the information. I try to make sure that they're included. So it's important that I have people. There's a lot of people in here who have tribal ancestry, American heritage, Native American heritage, and so it's important that we share that information, and it's important that we do that. If I'm unable to identify that at some point that precious metal tied to that collectible gemstone is a semi-numismatic item or exonumia, whatever you want to call it, I might miss out on a great portion of my my knowledge base. Matthew Cochran, what does SP70 stand for?
SP70 is the special mint sets that are special 65 through 67, I believe.
70 would be the grade.
Right, but the SP would be special proof, or I'm not sure. But I think that those are grades given to 65, 66, and 67 coins that were not, because they didn't manufacture proof sets or mint sets those years. Specimen, all right. Special proof. Tripp asked a question earlier. What happened to the Carson City Mint, and why is it not in operation anymore?
What happened to who?
The Carson City Mint. Why is it closed? Because the Comstock load basically came to an end, and it did remain an assay office for a long time after that. So they were still bringing it down. They just weren't minting coins there. And that's funny because I just heard there is a silver mining company called Comstock who's supposedly going to be mining the Comstock area again.
They'll never open Carson City, but yeah, it was
the Comstock load where it was. They said it was all mined out, and they said with the way that the industry is now in the tools, that most of the silver is actually still there. It's just not obtainable by humans. The way they used to mine it in the 1800s.
Not only that, but there are laws in metal detecting in Arizona around or Nevada. You can't break the surface. If you're going to metal detect, you can only do stuff off the surface. You can't dig at all. It's against the law. No, you'll get in massive trouble. And so they want to keep artifacts and stuff where they are. So you have to get a permit to metal detect, but you cannot break the ground. It can only be surface picks. So, and Mike, you're right. It was twice. The mint closed in 1893 and then opened again after a break. 1885, I think. It was closed for a little bit. And then it closed again in 1933 when the state of Nevada bought it out and closed it because of Comstock. So SP, I'm glad he was there regarding SP because I always thought SP was special, was a special coin. I didn't realize it was specimen. So I've got to brush up on that. So thank you guys for addressing that question and getting that one correct. Much appreciated. All right, let's see. What am I missing in chat? Grover Cleveland closed it.
Yeah, it says it closed in 1933. It was an assay office when it was closed, and then it was immediately sold to the state of Nevada.
Oh,
well, maybe 6 years.
All right. Well, let's do the Wheel of Names. Let me pull this up. And let me do a wheel of all the people who put in something into the chat. So let's see here. Do. And again, if you want to do that. Make sure you're putting stuff in chat. Oops, hold on. Oh, this is going to be problematic. I'm going to do this a different way. It's not allowing me to pull this. So I'm going to have to manually put them in. Give me just a second while I do this, and then I'll do my drawing. What did THS? I got my first pre-33 quarter gold. Oh, awesome. That's cool. Oh, and he got it from Tim. I'm assuming Tim is Tim Meshner. Let's see here. I'm going to have to pull something else up. Keep asking questions while I do this. I apologize. I was hoping that it would allow me to do this. Unfortunately, it's not. It's not cooperating.
You want to see something neat? You want to put, let me get my camera shared. I don't know how many people are coin roll hunters. And people always say, well, the Denver Mint doesn't make any cool stuff lately. Let me get in here. This was sent to me. And everybody's always like, I don't search Denver stuff. All right. And start up there. See that it's double again, the initials, the corner of the building. And you look at America, the top of the letters in America. And you look at starting to see 5 cents. Of is really doubled. I mean, this is a nice doubled die.
So let's slow down real quick. There's something I want to look at. Let's look at that E. That E is really solid.
Right here?
No, yeah, well, that's really good there. But I want to go into there in America is good. So I want to show, so first off, okay, yeah, so you're doing exactly what I want you to do. You notice that it kind of disappears. Okay, you can still see it, but it kind of fades into existence. But when you turn it the right way, you see those bottom serifs appear. There we go. And so it's very important when you're doing this to rotate your coins. Yeah, look at that. That's the E that I was talking about. There you go.
And the T, crazy.
It's very important to rotate your coins when doing this, because if you don't, you see people put them up and they do it and they move it. They never rotate those. How many coin collecting have you watched to see them put the coin up and then move it? They put the coin up, then they move it. They put the coin up, then they move it. But they never rotate it. The light on your scope comes from a very specific way. And so if you look at those coins, you have to rotate that. You have to actually put that in there and move that, because again, you'll see those shifts. And again, if you don't rotate that, the light may actually hide that design element from you, and that could be
but you can even see notching right here in the corner of the building.
Yeah.
And this was sent to me as a gift. And my first thought was I had went out and bought one of those DDO number ones for 2024. This is as good or as nice as that. And it's not listed anywhere. I don't do nickels, so I can't list it. But it's just crazy. So 2023D, for all you guys that say there's nothing to look for in Denver coins, there's something for you to look for.
Go look at the steps. Frank says it's full steps. Is it?
It's yeah.
It's got 5 steps.
This might it's that breaks the step, but it's not shelf doubling. The best way to tell in machine doubling, let's see, do I have a good case of machine doubling out here? Darn, I
Well,
put
no,
it
you
away.
can see if you look at the F and the I, leave that right
Right
there. What's
here
that? Yeah,
is
you
the
can see
dimension.
those. Yeah, you can
This
see
adds
the,
to the dimension.
yeah.
Shelf doubling or machine doubling, always it would be take away like the side of this. It would take away from the actual dimension of the device.
Now, there is some die wear on that.
Yeah, well, it's a nickel,
Yeah, so
especially if you go over here.
there is some die wear, so the die
It
wear
is
will
very
aid in
worn.
that appearance.
And here's another thing that like shelf doubling wouldn't do. This comes down and there's an actual notch cut in right here. That wouldn't do it. If it was just like machine doubling, it would come straight down, be the C, and then be really flat. And then it would be flat under here. I am not sure about that, THS.
Jack Riley says class 6 distended hub doubling.
I'm thinking more class 2. James Wiles and Brian Ribbar. Brian Ribbar would be the guy that would attribute this. They will both say class 8. James Wiles might say class 9. But class 9 is depending on if it was used in a single squeeze or not. And I don't think they use the single squeeze anymore. I think that they've got new equipment and they went to less expensive equipment because they know that they're minting less coins and that they're doing multiple hubbings all the time now.
So everyday opportunity, what's up, bud? Shelf doubling, machine doubling, it's all the same thing. It's just there's different terms for it. The reason people call it shelf doubling is because it looks like a shelf. And again, when you see that, you'll see that with die wear. You'll see that with ejection doubling. It just has a shelf-like appearance. Now there is, when you look at this coin, let me try that again. You do see some die wear, but that's very clear doubling in that F, the I. You can see it there in the serifs, but there
You can
are
actually see it in Monticello.
yeah. But there is some die wear, and that die wear is causing a little bit of reduction in the some of the letters.
But where I do have a die where I had that coin yesterday. Yeah. What did I do with it? Is this it? Yeah.
Thanks, Azure. Yeah,
Here's
if you guys,
die wear.
Folks, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, I only need 15 more to get to 6K. Come on, can you help me get there? I would greatly appreciate it.
A great example of die wear. That would be considered a 1953 poor man's doubled die.
Can you put a little bit more light on that 3? There you go.
You can see there's the regular 3. And it's just basically pushed the die. You can see these lines right here. As the die strike, it creates kinetic energy and makes everything push out towards the edge. That's why the edge wears first. And you look at die states on coins. Here was one. I was talking to somebody about early die state coins, and I don't know who it was, but I took pictures of one. I've been finding something that I never realized until I looked at a picture of Dalma Romine's book of an early die state coin. Let me get this up here.
Now, see, Trip, that's something that comes with time. Some of these are very, very hard to see. And I say this all the time. Eric, I'm going to ask you a question, and I won't even have to tell him. What double die do I have an extremely hard time seeing?
Oh, you have doubled eyelids.
Doubled eyelids. See, I don't even have to say anything.
He knows. Oh, I guess you can't see that, can you? Are you seeing that screen?
I see the one with the face of Lincoln.
All right, let me share this screen. Let me stop share.
Yeah, now somebody can point it out to me, and I'll be like, okay. But man, I have such a difficult time seeing those things, like extremely difficult.
See, now this isn't a very early die state, but it's still early. I got it in your basement.
Oh, hold on just a sec. I was making Mike's sticker pack to go off to him. There it
These
is,
right
Mike, ready
here,
to
these
go.
little die dots on real new dies, there is lots of them. This one, a lot of them have started to wear out. But I've been noticing you get these patches all through here and they wear out. And I think that is actually like chipping of the steel because it's very hard. And then they know that they're going to strike 10,000 coins and the kinetic energy is just going to flatten it right out. So you don't see these after like 10,000 strikes. This has already been polished one time. Maybe they polished it because there was a lot of those porosities, but I mean, it's still got lathe lines and stuff like that in it.
You see those? Is it what is on the edge there?
It's lathe lines.
That's ley lines. Mike, I would take 1% of your knowledge, please. Yeah, you know what though, Robert? Here's the thing.
So my question is, has anybody else noticed that? I don't know how many people actually see. Look at all this little pitting. Now there is premature die failure that adds pitting also in late die state, but it doesn't quite look like this. If I didn't know if anybody else had noticed these little patches of pits on early die state coins.
Oh no.
There you go, Mike. There's nothing wrong with that. It's got to start somewhere.
Well, I can promise you that is not a truth statement. He is being funny.
Well, and that's why this is more conjecture than it is proof. I'm just, this is like the 10th time that I've seen that in various, you know, uh, volume. And I'm just wondering if that is common to new early die state coins from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I don't know either. I was just putting that out. And I know that this is a relatively early die state.
GGXL, thank you for subscribing. Very much
And you can tell
appreciated.
just by the sharpness of the outside of the letters towards the rim, because that's the first place that they start mushing out. Are you running for office? Yeah.
All right, well, let's do this drawing. People have had plenty of time to subscribe and get in. So let's go ahead and run this. Mike Nodelman, if you like this content, please subscribe. I appreciate that. I appreciate all your guys' support. Seriously, it means a lot.
14 away.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
We'll get it tomorrow.
All right. Well, here's the wheel. This is what I've got in here. If
That's
you don't,
where on the master die trip. Same thing. Same
let's
principle.
see. Mike Nodelman says he couldn't be elected as dog catcher. Let's see. I don't see. Say vote for Pedro Southeast. If you don't see your name, put a 1 in chat. I'm only going to give you just a second. Barbara Wall, Chad Brookman, David Carlisle, Frank McCain, freaking awesome, Frostbyte coins. And if I get in there, I'll add a coin to this. Inkman, Jack Riley, GGXL, Kevin Rose, Kinemine, Matthew Cochran Sr., Matt, Mike Nodelman, Mohawk Joes, Robert Bruce. Mohawk is a new subscriber, so is GGXL. Thank you guys for subscribing. Robert Bruce, Rockzilla, Southeast, Sunil, The Gambit, THS, Tripwit, Vote for Pedro, and Woodsy. Azure, I don't see. Michael Stacking. Michael Wells. Got you. Let's see. Mike Nodelman, I already got you in there. Robert Bruce. I already have you in there. James Valley. I don't have James Valley. Let's see here. Rosie Key. Do I have you? No. Let's see. Michael Stacking, Robert Bruce, Mike Nodelman, Rosie Key, AZ Coins. I haven't leaving AZ off. Just kidding, AZ. I'm just teasing with you, brother. I think that's everybody. Double check and let's make sure. Let me check this. Oh, I just closed it. I can have it. Hold on. Southeast. John Shank. Is John Shank's name on there? It is not. Let me add John Shank. Okay. I think that's everybody. I don't think I missed anyone. Azure, John, Southeast, David Carlisle, Joe, Southeast Stacker, Chanel. All right, I think I've gotten everybody. Oh, EC. Okay, I let me add you.
And then Jay Atwell also.
Who?
Jay Atwell.
Is Siren on there? Siren's like, no. All right, we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and circle this off. I appreciate you guys. So let's shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. All right, and I'm actually going to give 2 of these away. I'll do more if we can get to. Is everyone subscribed? Everybody has to be subscribed that's in here because you have to be subscribed to enter into chat. So everybody that's on here is subscribed to the channel. I'll do another one of these tomorrow. Actually, we'll probably do a couple of these tomorrow. Please return to work, Postal Boy. Tim needs tax-free help. There's THS on there. THS is on there. All right. I'm going to draw 2 of these. Thank you so much, you guys, for all the support. Definitely appreciate you all. Well, Mike, guess what? I just packaged it up for you. You won. So I'll add something to go with it. I'll give you another one of the stickers from Bifrost and from Tiger Stacker. So you'll get a couple of them. Will I be delivering the prize to me? Yes, VML. You're going to get it anyway, Mike. I'm going to draw another one. I already had put one together for you, so you're already getting one. I'm still going to draw 2 people. It looks like Rosie. Oh, no, THS. THS, do me a favor. Send me a claim email, exclamation point email, and that will pull that up. Congratulations, THS. And Mike, text me your address. I'll send you off the poker chip. So this is THS. Okay, got your thing there. I'll get that done. And then we'll do one more. I'm going to remove you again. We'll be doing another giveaway tomorrow. I only need 13 folks. Make sure you're sending this off. I would love to get there tomorrow. I'd like to actually have gotten there today, but we'll get there tomorrow talking about key dates. Make sure you're including folks. So let's go ahead and cycle this. But I do want you to do me a favor. Don't create an account just to do this. I want people who are going to watch the channel. Okay, let's do this. And then kin of mine. Congratulations. I don't think you have one of these kin of mine, but send me a claim email and I will get you out one of these. If you do have one kin of mine, let me know. If you already have it.
Just commented that it was still rigged. It's still rigged.
Who said that?
Kin of mine.
Oh, hold on just a second.
No, she says it's not rigged.
I was about to say I'm about I'm about to remove them. So no, I'm just kidding. Kin of mine, send me a claim email. If you already have one of my channel stick or channel rounds, then or my poker chips, then let me know and I'll send you a different thing. So, but I know Mike doesn't have one. He's going to get one. But I just ran 2 more anyway. So THS, congratulations. And again, kin of mine, congratulations. You don't have one yet. Okay, outstanding. Perfect. So I will get those out in the mail today. So congratulations. And again, tomorrow, folks, make sure you're here. We're going to be talking about key dates. It's extremely important to understand not only what the potential for your coins are, but also to ensure that you have a good understanding of some of the items. And again, Mike said he's in, so I'm expecting him to be here. And then Jack Young is going to present some items. Jack Riley, if you want, give me a holler later today, and you and I can work on seeing about that sound quality, see if we can get that up and running. If you want to be a part of the stream, you are more than welcome to. And again, Mike, anytime you're anybody in your shop wants to come check out and pop in and say hi, do whatever, they're more than welcome to. Take care of Asia. I think I might have missed something, but I hope you all are well. So again, tomorrow we'll be talking about key dates, so make sure you're there. And I just finished packing up. Kin of mine? All right, so both of yours are ready to go. Just send me the claim emails. Make sure that you send me your addresses. I don't keep addresses for people. So if you've sent it in the past, send it again, because I don't keep that kind of stuff. Okay? You've got a week, and if I don't get it in a week, then I'm not going to do it. Robert Bruce, thank you for all the help. Hey, man, this is what we're here for. Again, to share information, to talk about these things. Remember, I don't care if you call yourself a coin collector, if you call yourself a stacker. I don't care if you call yourself a numismatist, or if you just call yourself a hobbyist. What is important is that whatever you call or consider yourself, you understand that if you're doing anything within this hobby, stacking, collecting, whether you're trading, buying, selling, you're all a part of the numismatic hobby. So it's important that we build a community of like-minded people, people that are willing to come in and say, no, that's not right. Yes, that is right. Show us why it's right, why it's wrong, and continue to grow the hobby as far as education goes. There's so much misinformation out there, so much crap information out there, that we want to make sure that you have the best, most reliable stuff that you can get. That's what this channel is. I don't buy crap. I don't sell crap. I don't run games. No, I may do trivia here and there. I may give some stuff away, but this is all about making sure you all have the best information you can. If you look at the folks in chat, the level of knowledge of people who come into this and other streams is major. So don't underestimate the knowledge that's here. Every one of you has the capability and the opportunity to become extremely adept and helpful at this community. Ask questions, ask lots of them, and understand that there's no wrong answer. There's only opportunities for improvement.
And get questions ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, please. Email pictures if you want to. You want to talk about key dates. We're going to be talking about some counterfeits. Obviously, we're going to have some people up showing some things you need to watch for when it comes to key dates, when it comes from an area, especially when you're buying online. You guys, you're definitely going to want to be here tomorrow. There's a lot of great information. Freaking awesome. Thank you so much for sharing and be a part of the stream. My email is crap, so I'll be going to, you can send me either one. Just send me your information. I don't care how you get it to me, kin of mine. Doesn't matter to me. I will forward that to my email because I track everything through my email to make sure that stuff is sent. So no big deal. Mike Nodelman, true story. When I started collecting, I was trying to create A 20th century typeset of all key dates. Damn, that's ambitious. That's ambitious. That
And
would
that,
be. Do you still have a lot of those, Mike?
that's a great, talking about something that an investment type coin collection. That one would probably fit that.
Well, yeah. So there's a major difference between investing and hedging money, right? Those key dates would definitely be an investment. All gone. Yeah, that would be a hell of a typeset. That would be a fun typeset to put together. Could you imagine having a typeset book where they were all just the key date coins? Could you imagine how much money that would cost? Oh my God. Thinking of that's mind boggling. How much would that? Ooh. Hey, Eric, I want you to do me a favor.
What's that?
We need to put a bug in Chuck's ear. Because you know how he gets when he gets a bug in his ear?
Yeah. All the key dates of the 20th century. So that's all the key dates of the 1900s.
Tell me that wouldn't be. Mike, I think you guys, you and Matt, I know you guys are on vacation. I think that would be a lot of fun for a bunch of people to get together on a panel. A bunch of people to get together on a panel and talk about key dates and what it would cost to put a key date. Holy cow, that would be, could you imagine?
Well,
and getting it at different grades.
Coins, so it shouldn't be terrible. He said 20th century. You know, you don't have the 19th century ones. Those are the ones that cost you your limbs.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about some of these, and God forbid you try to do this in a specific grade.
Right. Oh no, yeah, high grade. Yeah. Well, what's the one? The 1913 B nickel or something like that. There's 5 of them.
Well,
would they consider that a key date, or would they consider that a type coin?
So you couldn't really consider the V nickel as a key date coin because they were a special run. They were specifically designed. There were only 5 of them.
Right.
It wouldn't really be considered. And I think when you would talk about this, you would have to talk about it being in relation to business strike or proof coins, right? You'd have to really kind of be clear about that because you have a lot of runoffs that were done onesie twosies, let alone some of the type coins like the Martha Washington, right?
Yep.
So, because don't they still use, Mike, you'd have to correct me, this is more of a Paula question because she likes this. Isn't the Martha Washington still used to test strike? Isn't that the die that they use to do test strikes on when they're testing metals and stuff? Isn't it still the Martha Washington? I think that, yeah, it is her. Yeah, okay. So again, you know, those, would you consider those key dates? No, because they're special strikes, right? So you'd have to have a very complete list. But man, tell me that wouldn't be a fun episode. I think that would be.
We'll find out tomorrow.
I think that would be a lot of fun. We'll talk about some of that stuff tomorrow, but I think specifically looking at kind of breaking that down. Oh God, see, that's another one. Well, I need somebody very knowledgeable to talk about that because that is a new world for me. I love my pattern coins. My favorite one, there's 2 of them. I like the Stella, but there are some of those. Ooh-wee. Now that goes in, yeah. That would be. I think that would be an amazing episode to have a bunch of people. And I'll tell you, Mike, that was your idea, not mine. That would be something, even if you guys did it on Coin Show, or if you guys wanted to have, you guys all wanted to come over. I would love to have Chuck, Mike, Matt, you, Paula, a couple other people from Harlan J. Burke. Could you imagine? I think that would be just, yeah, I think that would be freaking amazing. So, kid of mine, I just got your messenger. Thank you. I'll get that out to you. So there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, folks. Okay, this is the brainstorming that happens while we're in chat, talking about episodes that can happen and what we can bring you guys. So again, make sure you're smashing that like button. I appreciate everybody being here. I think we're right at 50 likes, so make sure you're smashing that. And then be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be an extremely fun episode. 50 likes right now, so thank you so much. Vote for Pedro. I'm looking to host a poker games. Players have to sit down with 50, 19, 21 peace dollars. One winner. Oh, hell.
Do they have to be real?
Yeah. Well, he's a peace dollar fiend, and he's probably the only one in here that doesn't own a coin shop that has 50 more, or 50, 19, 21 peace dollars. Yeah, everybody bring a friend tomorrow. Only 11 more subscribers. We're going to get to 6K today. We're going to get to 6K today. They won't stack. That is true. Which is another reason why they call them stackers. It's because they stack stuff, which is why we have rims. But it's very hard with the high relief, which is why they don't do a lot of high relief coins, because they don't stack. All right, folks. Well, Eric, anything before we wrap up?
No, just looking forward to tomorrow, and I might as well say goodbye to everybody and tell them I will see them in the neighborhood.
I appreciate you, brother. I hope you guys enjoyed today. I know it was a very fundamental and basic kind of conversation, but it's the return to basics that we need to do. We need to talk more about the minting process. We need to talk more about looking at the devices of a coin. Understand what the motto is. Understand the elements that make up coins, because we have to be on top of our basics if we're ever going to excel at the hobby that we all love so much. If y'all have any questions, reach out. Okay, hit that thumbs up. Man, 9 more subscribers. You guys are freaking rocking this. I am so excited. You guys, I can't tell you how much I enjoy doing this stuff for you guys. But the support you guys show me, subscribes, likes, watching the videos, I enjoy that. That's what keeps me moving. So I really, really appreciate all that you guys do. All right, folks, join tomorrow. New subscriber, the Big Bud Shepherd. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. But be here tomorrow. Again, we're going to be talking key dates. We're going to have a lot of amazing people on channel. A lot of people in chat, and some amazing panelists. So you're definitely going to want to be there. Go over, hit that subscribe button, and share that out. The more the merrier, and let's get to that 6K subs. All right, folks, love you guys. Be well, be blessed, and we will see you guys tomorrow in the stream.